So I saw an interesting article today coming in from TWSN, which actually talks about 5 possible sleeper picks Cincinnati could take in its upcoming draft that we might not have been talking about too much. Now, the first player in this list is actually a player I have been talking about, so it's kind of funny whenever I see these articles and I'm like, oh wait, that guy, yeah, I've covered him essentially, yeah. And that's going to be offensive tackle. And that's going to be a little bit down the list here. He's around the 4th or 5th round pick at this moment in time. But his name is Warren McGlennon. And honestly, he's a pretty solid 4th or 5th round pick offensive tackle. I think he's a guy that a lot of people are going to be talking about a lot more once the draft does roll around, just because he does have a lot of upside. Now, why is he so good? Well, he's played pretty much his majority of his college career at right tackle. Exactly what Cincinnati would want him to play, especially with the fact that, left tackle is Orlando Browns. So now right tackle would be pretty much all Glennon's. Now, of course, we have to fight for the job with Jonah Williams, fight for the job with Cody Ford. But if you do trade away Jonah Williams, you could, kind of work him back in that right tackle position with Collins coming back eventually, where he could become that guy. Now, according to, there's not really any analysis on him, but he is 6'4", 306 pounds, so he is definitely up there in, weight/size that you want for a offensive tackle. A little bit shorter, 6'4", a little smaller than what you usually see out of right tackles. The another guy I want to talk about, and I talked about in my previous video, but I want to talk about it again, is actually Nick right here. He's an 85.1 pass blocking grade last year. He's played majority of his college career at right tackle too. Again, another player who's played a lot of right tackle in college, which we do like to see. But the thing about him is that, so he's definitely gotten a lot better at blocking at the right tackle position. But they claim that he could become even better if he moves to guard. So he can become like a tackle or guard, whatever you need him to be. And he's even better at guard. So this is a player that I wouldn't, this is going to be a 4th, 5th round pick. I wouldn't be against the idea of getting Nick in this draft and kind of having him as a right tackle / guard replacement in case you need something, in case something happens, like Kappa goes down again, knock on wood, or, you just need to move him around the line to kind of, have some depth purposes. I wouldn't be against going to a guy like Nick for that purpose. But the second player they talked about here is that I'm surprised more Bengals fans on Warren McGlennon as a right tackle prospect. He's definitely not one of those top guys, but he definitely has some tools. He could play left tackle in a pinch. And again, right now Orlando Brown is the left tackle as long as nothing happens with injury. Brenton Strange, I talked about him before at tight end. He's a guy who is going to be a late round pick. I think right now he's looking at the 6th or 7th round at best. He definitely has some upside though. He's a 73.2 receiving grade last season. According to there's no analysis on him, but he's 6'4", 253 pounds. He is only a junior, so he definitely could have waited a little bit to his senior year. Right now, Pro Football Focus has him at a 10% chance to get drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think he definitely has some upside. We always talk about players with upside, which we really do like. He's a 60.5 blocking grade, run blocking grade, so he's more or less just going to be a glorified vertical threat tight end. Really isn't that much of a problem, but definitely, you want to have as much versatile players as possible, especially if you're going to take them later on. Next guy is going to be edge rusher Zach Harrison from Ohio State. So there's a lot of decent edge rushers in this draft, and a lot of guys I really do like. So let's see where Harrison actually is. Zach Harrison right here. So it looks like he is coming in at pick 124. So I'm going to guess that's around 3rd or 4th round, around that kind of time period. 85.3 pass rushing grade, 78.4 run defense, not bad at all. True pass rush grade is a 91.1, and he's an all-around really decent player. And you know what? I've always said this. I've been saying this whole entire offseason so far, is if they're going to go pass rusher, they're probably going to go in kind of the middle round, anywhere from pick round 3 to round 6, right? We talk about Moro Jabo, Carlo Brooks from Bowling Green. Obviously, Zach Harrison here. There's a lot of good players in that ballpark range that you can get a really decent pass rusher for that, area. Now, he is projected right here as a 4th-round pick. It says Harrison will be limited by his rigidity? I cannot read that word for some reason. But he can still okay, I have like cables in front of my thing here. He can still be an edge setter / bull rusher at the next level. Where he wins is his length. What's his role? A 2-down edge. And what he can prove on is his plan of attack. So not a bad pick, honestly. He could definitely be a pretty solid pass rusher for the Cincinnati Bengals, which we already know. Listen, they need an edge rusher. Last season was absolutely hellacious with how bad last season was at the edge rushing position. So getting an edge rusher would be very, very smart for them. Ohio State edge Zach Harrison was a menace versus Iowa last week. On 8 pass rush snaps, he compiled 2 hurries, 2 hits, and a sack. He's expected to test very well in the draft. And again, right now, he's around a 4th-round pick, so it's not bad. Charlie Jones, wide receiver from Peru. Listen, Cincinnati sent scouts out to look at Alabama's wide receiver. They want to draft a wide receiver. I know you might say, well, why would you want to draft a receiver? Well, because Tyler Boyd's on the last year of his contract. And right now, they want to see what they're going to do moving forward. Are they going to re-sign Tyler Boyd to a longer contract? Or can they draft a receiver, have Tyler Boyd in his last year of his contract, that receiver start blossoming, take off for them, and now they have a stud receiver that they can move forward with and not have to worry about giving money to Tyler Boyd. They can let Tyler Boyd walk at the end of this season, and now they have a replacement for Tyler Boyd. So they are looking at wide receivers in this draft. They're not looking at receivers in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, guys. But they're looking at 6th, 7th round receivers, which are always possible. Now, Charlie here is going to be... Where is Charlie located? Let me just make sure I'm saying his name correctly. Yep, it's Charlie from Purdue, which I believe Purdue has a gigantic P. Yep. So he is looking... Okay, so let's see what round he is. He is going to be 185, so he's around like a 5th, 6th round pick. An 83.8 receiving grade, not bad at all. Definitely pretty decent. His height is 5'11", 175, so he's kind of on that cusp of... He's a little too short to be a receiver, but he still has it in him, which is absolutely amazing. And again, like I said, they're going to look at receiver. The receiver they're actually talking about a lot, and they actually sent pro scouts out to see, was Alabama's receiver. And I'm just going to see if I can find him real fast, because I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of forgot the guy's name. I'm probably not going to... It's like, is it BB or something? Unless he moved up or down the draft board. I'm probably completely missing the guy. Because I missed so many players today looking at, like draft boards. I don't know why my eyes today are just absolutely out of it. Ronnie Bell from Michigan. Not Alabama. Sorry. Michigan's receiver, Ronnie Bell. They sent scouts out to look at him. And in all honesty, he could be, something special here. Now, Ronnie Bell is way after Charlie. So, like, for example, Charlie might be a 4th, 5th round pick, 6th round pick. Ronnie Bell might go undrafted. So, it's one of those guys where, hey, listen, if he goes undrafted, we'll pick him up, we'll see what we can do with him, and see what he can work in his team for. Caillou Blue Kelly, cornerback from Stanford. I believe he's a high overall pick. I want to say he's in the first 4 rounds, and that's what I mean by high overall pick, by the way. Yeah, so he's going to be around the 4th, 5th round. Let's see what they have him here. They don't really say what round he is, but he's a 6 foot tall, 191-pound cornerback. He has 4 years of starting experience under his belt, and with one of the higher football IQs at the position in the draft class. The only year he allowed less than a yard per cover snap was his freshman year in 2019. He's not really that great. He really isn't. I wouldn't take him personally, and by the way, Stanford. Stanford. I always when I see Stanford, I think it's Stanford, but there's 2 different colleges, Stanford and Stanford. But yeah, so he's he's a decent corner. Lou can develop him a little bit and make him, a lot better than he actually is right now. But those are 5 players Cincy could target in this upcoming draft. Some sleeper picks. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.